Hey guys, Dave from Wolfhard Hobbying here, and today we're going to take a look at painting Deathwatch miniatures. To serve as our example, we're using the Raven Guard Jump Marine from the Deathwatch Overkill box set. Now Deathwatch is a very simple color scheme and not very hard to paint in my opinion and in the way I paint, as their armor is all black. With the exception of the left arm, which is silver, and then their chapter shoulder pad. So, and then all the other little icons and little accents that are on the miniature. So this model was given a primer of light gray, and then I came in with my airbrush and gave it a base coat of Vallejo Model Air Panzer Dark Gray. I use dark gray for a lot of the blacks. I also use Vallejo Model Color Black Gray. I don't like using a straight like Abaddon black or anything like that, as I find the highlighting process a little harder to do on a straight black, whereas with a dark gray, when you're highlighting up with your grays, they kind of blend a little bit better. So for this one, we're just going to do a edge highlight on the armor, and we're only going to focus on the black armor in this video. So it's going to be a shorter video, and we'll tackle the other parts in some separate videos. So again, we're just going to do an edge highlighting in no really particular style. So I'm going to come in first with Vallejo Model Colors Gray Green. This is kind of a darker green, but not too, gray, but it's not too dark of a gray that it's not going to show up. So for this, we're going to be picking out different parts on the armor plates and just kind of giving a little highlight. Now, my camera is having a problem focusing on the model at this point, but he's got these kind of like little toe things on his boot, so I'm just going to give a quick line over top of those. Now you could mix the dark gray with the gray green and build up layers and layers and have the gray green your final highlight if you wanted to, but it would kind of give them more of a dark gray armor look than say a black. So just looking around the model where I'd like to put this edge highlight. Now this one is kind of a broader stroke than what the next highlight will be, which will be more selective and a thinner stroke as well. Again, I would like to apologize for my the camera being out of focus on the miniature, but if you've painted Space Marines before, then you kind of understand where I'm hitting on the Space Marine. Again, just there's no particular lighting formation that I'm going with this model, so I'm just kind of picking out where I would like to highlight and separate the armor pieces. But again, you can do this in your own fashion. This is the only way I do it. So again, this kind of highlighting process is nothing fancy. I just wanted to get these guys painted up as quickly as possible and have them look really great on the tabletop. Again, you could layer these you could start with a black base and then use your dark gray as your first highlight and work your way up that way if you wanted to, but that's completely up to you. I don't want to spend too much time on these guys themselves, as again, I just want to get them on the board. Now with him, he's got some like Raven Guard icons on his knee pads and his or the shin guards or whatever they happen to be. With those, I tend to just still do my edge highlight, and I go over top of the detail, as when we paint up the detail or the icon a little later, we will it will cover up that highlight and give it kind of the illusion that we went in with a finer detail brush and highlighted those armor plates. So I'm just going to skip ahead here to where I have all the armor plates that I wanted highlighted. So we did the top of the jetpack, his knee, the boots, the greaves, all those things. Did a lot of work with some of the plating on the jump pack, but I left a lot just the original base color, as again we just want to kind of give some separation in the black instead of going overboard with the highlight. So on the head I did the 3 little vents that are on top, and his beak helm I kind of just did 3 little lines with the edge of my brush on that to give it a highlight. So our next highlight is going to be a 2-to-1 mixture of 2 Administratum Gray to 1 Vallejo model color gray green. This will give us kind of a medium gray, so if you have a color for that already, that's great. I don't, so I have to use my mixture. This color is going to be a thinner line than the original gray-green highlight, and I'm just going to pick out kind of in the middle of some longer straight pieces on the jump pack and corners. I went a little too far there, but corners, the highest points on some parts of the model, as you see I only did 2 of the vents on the head, as that smoke launcher on the back of the jump, on top of the jump pack would kind of be covering it, so kind of being a little bit more selective of where this color is going to go on the armor than I was with the straight gray-green. So just kind of looking around, seeing where I want to put the color and debating whether or not it needs a highlight, if it would be covered by shadow or something along that lines. So I'm kind of going with more of a realistic highlight, or a zenithal style, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm just kind of picking out where I want it to go. So just the edges of those toes on the boots, the uppermost part of the boot. In there's a kind of a banner. It's hard to see with my camera not functioning properly, but I'm not going to go in there as light would not hit there. So again, being very selective of this highlight. So again, just the edge of the upper part of the boot here. I'll be doing those toes, the spots where the lightning claw comes kind of out, or the power source of the lightning claw, just along the top edge of the jump pack. And as my camera is kind of playing with its focus here, there's panels on top of the jump pack that I've done in the gray-green that I'm not doing in this color. For the beak part of the helmet, I'm just doing essentially one quick line down the middle just to give it some more highlight. Now, if you find that the highlight is a little too bright, then you could give the entire model a wash in Nuln Oil, but that may distort your highlighting and may kind of ruin some of the process. So it's up to you on whether or not you would like to do something like that. But that's pretty much about it. That's kind of how I highlight black in a quick way. Again, there's a million ways you could do this. You could layer. You could even dry brush these colors if you wanted, but I will warn you that dry brushing won't give you a black effect. It'll give you more, again, a dark gray look. You could wash it with a black wash afterwards, but again, you might screw up some of your highlighting process. So that's it. I'm just going to work a little bit more on the highlighting off camera, but I'm just going to be doing the same process, picking the corners, longer edges and things like that. We'll be doing the silver arm next in our next video, and then probably in the same video do the raven symbols as well, because everything else is going to be kind of a gold color, which I've covered before, and some bone colors, which I've also done. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments or suggestions of what you'd like to see, please leave them in the comment section below, as well as any questions you may have for me. You could also go to the link in the description below to my Facebook account and shoot me off a message there with any questions or suggestions, and I will respond to you right away. There will be a link to my Patreon account if you guys want to show some support that way. That'd be awesome. Again, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video and have yourselves a great day.